Plasma batteries at full power. Firing now. The entire warship vibrated as the colossal energy coils emptied their capacitors for the pair of shots. The energy expended was massive, and some of the interior lights dimmed as the ship lost almost all of its power. Pulses of energy burst from the muzzles, each barrel unleashing a volley of energized shots. In a matter of 5 seconds, they were spent, and the muzzles glowed white-hot. "Perfect," Makos muttered under his breath. He watched through the reinforced windows on the bridge, nodding calmly as the majority of shots crashed into the bow of a cohort cruiser, and then on to hit a converted transport. The advanced cohort warship could do little against such savagery, and tore apart from the bombardment. The long, elegant membrane wings ripped apart, followed by the curved vertical stabilizers that vanished under the heavy fire. What was once a work of beauty and elegance was now another ruined hulk. The transport fared even worse, exploding in a great display of fire and molten metal. "Both targets destroyed, General." Makos felt both triumph and sadness at the death of the ship. The cohort was the epitome of the new Byotai fleet. 90% of the hull was identical to the older generation cohort class, but extended with greater living space, more advanced engines, and the great sweeping wings to collect energy from the solar winds. Light, fast, and powerful, and now almost vanished from this world. A decade ago, they were the most commonly seen Byotai ship, with even civilian ships copying their elegant insectoid styling. Now, most were in Star Empire hands, or wrecks scuttled by their loyalist crews. "Recharge the guns. I want them ready to fire as quickly as possible." They regarded him with unease. The plasma weaponry was dangerous to use, and without time to cool down, the risk would continue to increase. Several Palatini heavy cruisers had been lost with all hands due to this one problem. "General?" Elin asked. "The plasma generators are running at maximum, and the railgun launchers are primed and ready. Are you—" "Yes, I am sure. Do I have any choice? Charge them up and tell me the second they're ready." He looked back at the broken cohort ship. Light reflected off the broken solar wings, and for a second he felt a pang of guilt. His ship seemed such a brute compared to such beauty. Then a volley of shells slammed into Hellstorm's upper hull, and he grinned to himself. "Still, I would take Hellstorm over a dozen cohorts. She is the last of an old breed and can take these hits." He snarled defiance as the battle raged. Modern ships hid their battle bridges deep inside their armored hulls, but not old battleships like this one. The bridge was towards the rear and gave the commander a prime view of the battle. Lances of light marked the trajectories of the gunfire as mass drivers and automatic cannon hurled devastating projectiles across thousands of kilometers of space. Long circling trails of smoke and dust showed where the heavy missiles and torpedoes ducked and twirled on their way to their targets. There was almost a majestic quality about the magnificent panorama, yet Makos could still foresee the coming disaster. "Where are my reinforcements? Kratha promised me aid." Elin lifted her chin and inhaled cooler air. They had already had this conversation, so she chose to ignore it and focus on the battle. The young prince might have inherited leadership of the Byotai, but he lacked planets, colonies, and ships. In many ways, Makos had more to offer the Byotai right now. "General, Furiosa and her escorts are here, along with more ships than we could have imagined. Maybe we should fall back to Karnak and establish a—" General Makos looked doubtful. "Why bother? We will lose more ships in a retreat, and then we're left with fewer again to fight another battle. No, the battle must be decided here, today. Either we will control the field, or we will concede. I will not waste another day in this sector." His oversized nostrils flared as he turned his attention to the 2 divisions of enemy ships finishing to deploy in front of him for yet another general assault upon his fleet. Hellstorm punished them as they turned about, but it was too little and too late. He spotted the 3rd massed formation, moving slowly around to flank him on its left. Hellstorm continued firing, but the enemy appeared to ignore their losses and continued their vast envelopment. "General, 2 of their cruisers have broken through our forward screen. Our entire front is pinned and heavily engaged. They're coming right at us." "Plasma batteries?" Elin frowned. "Negative. We need at least another 10 minutes. We're venting from the generators. They're not built for this kind of—"